Hello everyone. In this session, we will understand how to bind a checklist box with our database. In the previous session, you had seen how we can fetch a data from a database and we can bind our combo box with that data, right? In this session, we will understand another control, that is checklist box. Okay, so I will do the same thing. I'll drag and drop my checklist box here. This is my checklist box. Okay, so what exactly I can do with this checklist box? I already have this city column, and you can see, you can actually visit my previous video where I had bind this data, this table with my combo box. So the same thing is going to happen over here, just a minute change. Okay, so this table is from that session, so you have to visit that video, right? So this is my table here, table city demo, and I have two columns, ID and city. And this city is basically going to be loaded inside this checklist box. There might be this requirement in your project where you need so many checklist box that has to be fetched from the database. This can be helpful. Okay, so I go to my code part, and the code part is nothing but I need to use area.net. So I'll use using system.data.sql client. Okay, so the next thing what I need a connection string. So you already know how we can get this connection string. SQL connection con equals to new SQL connection, and this complete string is going to come from this database. Right click on that, go to properties, and it will open this box. And there you go, there is your connection string. Copy it and paste it over here. That's it. Okay, so the thing is, next we're gonna use SQL command cmd equals to new SQL command. I hope you all know this. This is basic. Select star from tbl city and then demo, and I'll say con. This is my connection string object. Next thing is pretty much similar. SQL data adapter SDA equals to new SQL data adapter, and I'll pass CMD here. Next thing is I'll say empty data table dt equals to new data table, and then I'll say SDA dot fill this data table. Oh yeah. Next thing is I will say I need to fetch the data, and then it has to be loaded inside this checklist box. So I'll use for loop, right? Why do I need it? Is because I don't know how many entries I inserted in this city column. No one can do that, right? So maybe there might be 100 of this. So I cannot populate the 100 entries to the checklist box like manually, right? I cannot do that. So what I need a loop system, right? So I'll say for loop. So double tab it, it will auto generate the complete code here. So now what is the length? So this is very important. So the length is your data table, the rows dot count. So it will count the dummy data that is there inside the row of this data table. So if I have a 7 dummy data, then it will run from 0 to 7, and all those 7 cities is going to be loaded inside the checklist box. So this is very useful, right? So it says a data table which has a row, and it will count the rows. So you can see, you go to table, right click on that, and show table data. So inside that I have this city column, and I have how many rows? 1 2 3 4. So I have 6. So it will work from 0 to 6 here. Okay, so then I'll say inside this, I'll say checklist box. This is my control. I'll say item, add the item, checklist box dot item dot items dot add. Okay, and inside that, what I need to add here, I'll say dt dot rows, and then inside this I need to pass the index. So I'll pass the I, which has all the countings from 0 to 7 or 0 to 6. I close it, and then I again need to pass what is the column name of that table. So I will say the column name is city. So you understand how many columns I have? I have one is for ID. So this I is going to be loaded my ID 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then this city column is going to load my all cities. Okay, and then to give it as string, so I'll pass string. That's it. So now when you run this, you see here, when you run this, it will load all 7 cities: Ahmedabad, Delhi, Mumbai, Kolkata, Chennai, Allahabad. So you can select, you can deselect, no problem. Okay, so this is how you can fetch the data from the database, and you can load those data inside the checklist box. Okay, and so to load this thing, you cannot use this line of code like many times. You need to loop at or looped inside a for loop. Okay, so it will run from 0 to dt.rows.count, and it will work entirely from 0 to the last entry of that. It will count that, right? And that's the code. I hope you understand it. Thank you so much for listening to me.